We're with the elite female unit of the Special Forces here. They're just running through a couple of training drills in this building that was stormed by ISIS just a couple of months ago. These are the 60 or so new recruits who are joining the aid and security forces. This all-female unit was formed just a couple of years ago once the war broke out. These ladies are just learning how to handle their weapons. That looks like there's a lot of mansplaining going on, which is aggravating some of these ladies. تمام. How many women are in the Special Forces?
عددنا احنا كثير جدا 500 بنت أو 800 بنت.
Can you tell me about the kind of work you do?
تطهير عدن من الإرهابيين، إلقاء القبض عليهم. إن العديد من اللي عليهم أوامر قضائية أو إرهابيين يتمثلون في زي النساء، فيصعب على الرجل العسكري تفتيشه، فوجود المرأة ضروري جدا في نقاط التفتيش، في المنافذ البحرية، في المطار، في الأحوال المدنية، في السجن، في أي مكان.
Can I jump in here? Thanks. How would you describe the security situation here in Aden at the moment?
يعني بعد الأوضاع الحرب استأت كثير أوضاع البلاد، تفجيرات وتحقيقات كذا، وكان المرأة دور كبير مع الرجل يعني في تأمين البلاد. يعني يمكن حاليا تحس إنه بأمان وفجأة انقلب الوضع بدقائق.
What happened to this area?
مشاكل كثيرة نعانيها.
كثير الإرهاب، تفجير،
قلة يمكن الأمن انعدم حاليا. إن شاء الله تعدل.
Yemen's brutal civil war is a proxy battle between Iran and Saudi Arabia. In 2015, a group of Iran-backed Shia rebels known as the Houthis seized control of the capital Sana'a. In response, Saudi Arabia began a brutal bombing campaign in support of what they say is the rightful Yemeni government. While women on both sides have been called on to support the war effort, the conflict has only worsened the already miserable state of women's rights in the country. We visited one of the few recently set up shelters scattered across Yemen, where women have been arriving in desperate hope of escaping their abusers.
عشان كنت صراحة يعني معذبة من قبل زوجي، هذا كلهم بعد الحرب يعني استوى هذه المشاكل يمد يدوا علي وعلى أولادي، يعني ما فيش إنه ما لقيناش منهم أي نتيجة.
Given how ultra-conservative Yemeni society is, and given how the legal system has completely broken down here, this is really one of the only places that women can come and share their stories and their experiences since the start of the war. How do you think women in general have been affected here in Yemen by the war?
يعني صح انهم تعرضوا للخطر وتعرفوا يعني فقدوا اهاليهم، فقدوا مثلا ابوها، زوجها اللي هي يتيمه برضه.
How did your life change since the war?
لما كنت يعني عايشه مع اهلي مرتاحه لاني وحيد ابي وامي، اللي جاء يوم مع الحرب مع الايام صلحت عيني فجاه، سمعت فجاه قرح اول غديفه شلت البيت شل، وابوي وامي داخل المكان وانا برا من المكان. يقرقرين من المكان شوفوا أبوي وأمي يحترقوا قدام عيني تشوفهم، كان دعي واسمع صياح مسوهم. أنا صعب يعني إنه فقد هلا فجأة قدام عيني يحترقوا ولا بيده شيء يصلع، وبرضه صعب إني يعني كان معهم عايش بعدين فجأة أي حاجة يعني مسؤولة على أبوي.
الحريم هنا اللي عانت أكتر، فأني أجيت لهنا لأنه أخي دائما يضربني لأنه راح القبها ورجع تعبان، فهمتي؟ يعني شبه إنه يوميا كنت لو ما سمعت يعني بالراديو إنه في ملجأ هنا ذا المكان، صراحة أني كنت يعني إنه بحرق نفسي أو إني بروح البحر.
This sense of hopelessness is something Valentina Mahdi has witnessed time and again since the conflict broke out. How have the rates of gender-based violence changed since the war?
للأسف الشديد من بعد الحرب زاد، وهذا طبعا شيء كبير جدا لأنه نحن كنا في حرب، ما زلنا إلى اليوم نحن في حرب. هناك الكثير من التراجع في وضع المرأة، من ناحية أمنية، من ناحية اقتصادية، لأنه الكثير من الرجال استشهدوا، فاضطرت المرأة أن تقوم هي بإعالة أسرتها وتفتقد إلى الوظائف، تفتقد إلى الإمكانيات.
Not only are women targeted, but they're now increasingly having to provide for their households. Fawzia is one of more than 1 million women displaced by the conflict. She now spends her days collecting and selling soda cans. Right now, you're the only one who's able to make a living. Does that mean that you get to make the decisions, or does your husband still make the decisions?
الرجال اللي كانوا داخل البيت والحرمة تنفذ.
But it's not just grown women who are expected to contribute. Young girls have long been regarded as financial burdens to their families. But because of the war, there's now a need to see them as commercial commodities.
لما زوجتها لها 5، زوجتها يمكن حوالي عمرها 9 أو 8.
Yemen has no minimum age for marriage. But since the outbreak of war, families have resorted to marrying their daughters off younger and younger. Now, 2/3 of Yemeni girls are married before they hit 18. Iman is 12 years old and was sold for just $240. What did you think when your dad told you you have to marry this man?
مشيش كنت أنا زواجة يعني 21 يعني بس واحد كبير يكون زواج، مش يعني الدروس نلعب كل شيء.
How do you feel towards your dad?
أيوة زعلانة، متكلمش أنا معه أبداً.
So when you agreed to marry your daughter off when she was just 8 or 9 years old, did you ask her at all if that's what she wanted?
لا ما سألتها ولا حاجة. هكذا معناته أنا من نفسي.
If it was down to you, would Iman be married right now?
حتى لما بزوجها بخليه كده، بخليه عندي تجلس.
خلانا نتزوج الضباح معناته والفقر والجوع.
Iman's marriage certificate stipulated that she would have to live with her husband when she hit puberty. But instead, he showed up early to claim her this year. Desperate to prevent their child from being taken, the family appealed to the police, who stated that a divorce would only be granted if the dowry money be paid back in full.
غلق لي 60,000 قال اشتري زوجتي، قلت له أنا لما بعطيش إياها ما رضيش، جاب لي أمر استدعاء من الشرطة، حكموا له معناته كل شهر أنا أدفع له كل شهر 10 أكمل له حقه البيات، عندما تنتهي المبلغ الذي عنده يطلق البنت حقي.
Are you going to be able to afford to pay him back?
لا مش قادر، لا كذا غصبا لما نجمع وأحيانا يدخلونا داخل.
It's just incredibly heartbreaking to know that a decision for Iman's entire future has been based solely on finances, and that's purely because of war. And also to know that Iman is just one of thousands of young girls faced with this sort of a situation. With child marriages on the up, abuse becoming more common, and with the widest gender gap in the world, the situation for Yemeni women is dire. We tried to track down the politicians and officials responsible for doing something about it. It's been incredibly difficult to get any senior level politicians to talk to us at all, largely because a lot of them aren't even here, they're in Saudi Arabia. We have, though, been invited round to someone's home who works for the Ministry of Interior to have an afternoon capturing session. Thanks. How do I do this?
هذه الشجرة لها ترقى إلى مستوى المخدرات.
أنا بس تجربة يعني.
عود يعني.
Swallow? Oh, it's so bitter.
Bitter.
Ugh. Every day you choose this?
Every day.
Just to spend the time.
How many hours do you spend chewing? 4 hours a day you spend chewing this cat? How do you have so much time?
يعني ممكن تعمل قل لها ممكن تعمل وأنت مخزن ما في مشكلة يعني.
So you guys all work in the government, right? Mm-hmm. What is the status of the government right now, and why is it that your bosses, I mean the president and the prime minister, aren't here in the country?
وضع الحكومة ما تمارس عملها في عدن هذا الموجود بين في التحالف والشرعية، هذا الخلل أثر على إدارة المناطق المحررة بشكل عام، وأثر على تفعيل المؤسسات يعني في المناطق المحررة وتطبيع النظام والقانون يعني على الأرض.
Right, so it sounds like it's already difficult enough to achieve anything here in Aden. How far up on that list of priorities in terms of things to do are women's rights?
المرأة هي شريكة الرجل في الأمن، عامل مساعد وعامل مهم في تنمية المجتمع. حضورها مهم يعني.
Do you feel like Yemen has reached equality for men and women?
Do you mean the gender?
Yeah. Do you think that there is gender equality here in Yemen?
لا أعتقد أولا إنه في مساواة بين الرجل والرجل. نحن نريد أولا مساواة بين الرجل والرجل.
You don't think that women's rights have regressed since the war here?
ليزداد الوضع سوداوية ليس على المرأة فقط بل حتى الرجل نفسه. المرأة هي ضحية من ضحايا الحرب كانت ما يصيبها أصاب الرجل.
You don't think that it's because of the lack of governance, because of the lack of security, that women's rights have regressed since the war?
من يحكم المكان يكون مسؤول على ما في المكان.
While those in government diminish the issue, some Yemeni women are taking things into their own hands. In Aden, we came across a street protest demanding the end to illegal detentions by Yemeni security forces. The protesters call themselves the mothers of abductees and were calling for justice.
نحن دولة ونريد عدالة وقانون وحق، ونعم مع إنسانية مع دولة مدنية حق ودولة نظام وقانون.
It's really quite extraordinary to see women out here in public shouting themselves hoarse right outside the security building, which is incredibly risky here, and ensuring that their voices are heard and that men are the ones listening to them in a place where often their voices go completely unheard.
يعني نحن مش عارفين نحن اليوم نروح أو مش نروح، يعني إيش مصيرنا نحن الآن من هذه الوقفات؟ يعني نحن يمكن نهاجم، يمكن نهتك، يمكن نظلم، يمكن نسجن، يمكن نتعذب، يمكن يحصل لنا أي شيء. فيها جميع أبناء الشعب الحرية والمساواة والعدالة.
Some of the government security men are coming over right now to tell these women that they shouldn't be here, and these women are being incredibly feisty, telling them that they have every right to be here and that this is their protest and their fight to fight. You're making quite an impact.
أكيد نحن مؤثرين على الشارع لأن نحن بصفاتنا قياديات جنوبية.
That impact has been lasting. A few weeks ago, 46 detainees were released from a Yemeni prison following the mothers' protests. Despite being the most vulnerable and overlooked half of society, women here are proving themselves capable of pushing for real change. It's only with their involvement that Yemen will ever have hope of one day finding peace. How much do you think the future of this country depends on the actions of Yemeni women right now?
احنا حق، احنا بشر، احنا ناس، نريد حقوقنا، نريد تحسين معيشتنا، نريد نضمن مستقبل أولادنا.